So good morning, and what are we up to now? Well, had a visit from a very good friend last night. He brought me this old relic. World War II bayonet that he acquired or got from one of his many adventures. And as you can see, there's it's in pretty good condition for the age of it and where it was. What he wants me to do is fit a handle to it. He doesn't want me to clean the blade up too much, which is fair enough, but that's what he's after. So fitting a handle, as you can see, there should be a sort of a mechanism in here for locking it to the rifle. So I'm going to try and put something back in there so it's sort of authentic, but of course I don't have a rifle to fit it to, so it'll just make it look as though it works and sort of looks the part. And then fit two handle scales and we'll see how that goes. So I'm thinking, due to the fact that we're down here in Kiwi land, that I might put some remu on it, some native timber that I have from house renovations, and hopefully that'll look the part. So take a digression from my normal knife making and give that a little bit of a restoration, and let's see how that goes. So that was my little intro, and I've made a start on the old World War II bayonet, if you can see. So I've got my little box here with bayonet, spelt wrong, but never mind. I've got a few pieces assembled, or started to make a few pieces. First things first, I've machined up that little pin there. Because like I said before, I don't know, I might have. It's got a mechanism that goes in there which locks it to the rifle, so that little pin, I'll put a spring in there, and I've tapered the end of it there, which I lost all the footage for that, but never mind. Simple enough, I got that in there, so I'll trim that up, glue it up, and do what you've got to do with that. So that's the first part started. I've also taken a piece of stock, just a bit of sheet metal, pressed the form in it, so that'll be fitted up and stuck in there. The piece that goes up and down, if you know much about bayonets, which I don't, that'll go in there. And on this part here, what I'll do is cut that bit down to size. Got another bit of stock here, and I'll shape that out for the piece that goes up and locks on the rifle. Of course I don't have a rifle, as I've said, but we'll do the best we can do with it. And I've cut out some remu scales. They may be a little bit thin or whatever, but I'll give it a go. I may have to make one or two of these to get it right, but there we go. What I'm also going to do, after some consultation, I'm going to sand this blade down. I'm not going to sharpen it because that's not what he wants, which is fair enough. But I am going to sand it down to about a 400, make it look a little bit better. You can't see under there, but someone in the past has given it a bit of a go with a grinder. We'll try and get the majority of that out and see what if we can make it look a little bit better. So that's what we're up to right now. We'll crack on with this piece here. You can see I've marked it out. We'll start shaping that so it fits in. Let's go. So I'm just going to position this in here. Oh, this little thing here. It'll be up the other way, but not the problem. Put it there. I'm going to work on centres, to be fair. Give it a go, first shot, see what happens. Like I said in my video about making folding knife, two types of knives I make. One for me and other to make for other people. So if I get it wrong and have to do it 10 times, then that's exactly what's going to happen. This is for a good friend, so there you go, that's what happens. Bit mixed up here. So that's going to go in there. I want to figure out my travel. So at the minute I've got somewhere, I've just got a little pen spring. Fit that in there like that. This is going to have a hole drilled in it, which is going to be a bit perplexing because it's quite thin, but we'll get there. So that's going to be in there. It's a bit long at the minute, but we'll have about 3 or 4 mil travel. We'll work that out in a second. So I'm figuring we'll work on the centres, get a bit of a mark out and shape that around that circle. Transfer the marks over. We'll go to the 2x72 and we'll tweak that up. Something like that. So hopefully we're on track. Drilled a 4 mil hole in here. Of course it would be imperial because it's a US bayonet. So never mind, we'll just work with what we can get. So I'm figuring this little pin, if you can see that, will go in there. And we'll have about, needs to go down another 5 mil at least to the bottom it out. And then it'll have about 3 or 4 mil play travel. It's a good idea. Sometimes my good ideas don't work, but we'll give this a go. Like I say, if I've got to do it twice, I've got to do it twice, but we'll do our very best just to get it right. Righto, I'll go and trim that down and see how we go. If you're ever doing a job like this, you probably know what I'm talking about, or probably a little bit better than me, but you want to take a little bit off, try it, a little bit off and try it. You can't put metal back on if you've got a weld of it, it's not ideal. So I'll just take baby steps and one step at a time until I get it right. So I've got that not too bad now. The little spring here, it's probably a little bit light, but that's all I've got to work with. So what I don't want to do is get that in focus, get that spring stuck in there. There was a little bit of crap and corruption from years of sitting in the sea, I think it was. So I cleaned that out with a drill bit, and that works in there not too bad now. That'll be okay, that's the right tolerance. So I need to mark my distances if I can get a marker that works. And I need to get a hole in that. It's going to be pretty thin. And so I need to mark my tolerances. So I'm figuring right about there. So that'll, yep, that should work. So from there we're going to take our little piece, folded piece there that I pressed out. Did that off-site, surface ground it and all the rest of it. That'll go in there. And I'll shape her up on the 2x72. And we'll work from there. This little pin's about 4 mil. Don't know what size that'll be, imperial, but about 4.5 mil wide. So I'm going to try and drill a 2 mil hole in it to take that lever. So I've transferred my marks right around. I'm going to have to try and get it in the vise, which isn't working. I'm going to have to try and file a little flat on it so I can centre punch it. And we'll see what we come up with. Oh, this vise is not acting good. That's better. Of course the marks are going to come off, so I've transferred them around, so just gently. If you're getting a bit long in the tooth like I am, the eyeballs aren't quite what they used to be. I've got these little magnifying things here so I can get a better view of it. So I need to get that right because the marker's about 20 mil thick, so there's not a lot of wiggle room with this. Getting a little bit on the delicate side. Get that nice and tight. Let's give it a go. They're not too bad. Of course I'll retie it, test fit and test fit again when you're doing things like this. So yeah. So I'm going to go with the smallest hole I can get, and if I need to open it out I will do. For the minute I'm just doing 2mm. Another point to note, just don't walk away when you're connected to the camera, because you'll pull the thing over. Anyway, let's go. Come on, one. That's probably exactly what you don't want to happen. Hopefully it went right through, but I think it broke. It's gone right through, we'll get that out, so it's not a complete disaster. So like you just saw, the drill bit broke, had the potential to turn into custard, but it went right through and we got it out, so we literally got away with that by the skin of our teeth. Now I'm just going to try and countersink them a little bit to get rid of the burr. Nice, seems to have worked. Right, all good. So I finally got the mechanism up to somewhere I'm pretty happy with it, to be fair. Machined up that little pin. I don't know if that's going to focus on it, but hopefully you can see that having a bit of trouble with the camera. It's covered in dust and crap and corruption, but here we go. So that little pin welded a little lug on it, and it came up pretty good. Check at the end, as I said, or may not have said, but that's what I've done. Got the little pin welded end on that as well, and pretty happy with the way that's come up as well, so that's good. Sitting there on the table, it doesn't look like a heck of a lot of work, but quite a bit in it. A lot of hand filing and a lot of tweaking around and getting it right, so far it's pretty good. Lost the spring about, I don't know, 3-4 times, but finally found it. So there it is. She's a bit tight. There's still a little bit of polishing to do. Apart from that, yeah, goes in there. Not exactly sure what the mechanism's supposed to look like, because I really haven't had much experience with bayonets like this, but this is what we're going to do. So it's fitted in there, not too bad. Just goes up and down. Should hold a rifle, don't know, probably never know, but the concept's good as far as I'm concerned, so there we are. The scabbard, if you call it a scabbard, pretty sure you do, but could be wrong on that too. Let me know in the comments. Fits both ways. Don't know if it's supposed to, but it does. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. The jury's out on whether I blew that. Quite like the shiny side of it, to be fair. Don't think they would have originally been like that, but never mind. Its original days are over, and now it's a showpiece. So whether I blew it or whether I don't, all comes down to what the guy who wants it decides. I'm pretty happy with it looking like that. I'll shine up the blade too, so it will probably fit in. So there we are. A lot of work to get to that. There it is. It was worth it in the end. Originally he said he just wanted the handle, but I thought, well, I'd take the time and I'd make a mechanism, because I think it'll look a lot better. And there it is. So from here we'll proceed, we'll move on. What comes next? I think I'll clean up the blade, give it a sand, do the best I can with that. I don't know if you can see in there, but like I said before, someone's had a bit of a hack at there with the grinder. Not ideal, but you do what you got to do in the situation you're in, I guess. So we can't blame anybody for that. And from there, I'll get these scales done and put on. So without mucking around any longer, let's get stuck in and get that done. So if you've been enjoying that so far, thanks for watching. But we're going to wrap it up there and call it part 1. Got the mechanism in, it's working pretty good. It'll get oiled up, but yeah, I'm happy with that. You'll note that I have ended up giving it a bit of a blue on there and blue on there. When I was sanding the blade, there was a lot more residual rust and corrosion and crap and everything else, so I cleaned off. The grinding marks, most of them come out. Don't know if that's showing up on there. They weren't really that deep, which is a good thing. So I've got most of those off. I just figured if I left it shiny like that, any moisture or condensation that got on it in the future would cause it to rust. There's quite a bit of pitting in there, naturally, as you'd expect from where it had come from. So I just wanted to do something to try and arrest that and stop it happening anymore in the future. And I think I've done it. That's come up pretty good. So you can look forward to part 2. We'll fit the scales on it, and that'll be pretty much all we need to do. But there's a lot of work in getting it that far, more than I estimated, but I've enjoyed the process and I hope you have too. So once again, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe if you're inclined to do so. Thanks again. Enjoy your day.